Hello, and welcome to another episode of History Matters, where we explore the past and its relevance to the present. Today, we're going to talk about the Dark Ages, a term that is often used to describe the period of European history between the fall of the Roman Empire and the rise of the Renaissance. But what does this term really mean, and is it accurate? The term Dark Ages was first coined by the Italian poet and scholar Petrarch in the 14th century. He used it to express his disdain for the culture and literature of his own time, which he considered inferior to the classical civilization of ancient Rome and Greece. He believed that after the collapse of the Roman Empire in the 5th century, Europe entered a long period of decline, marked by ignorance, barbarism, and violence. Petrarch's view was influenced by his own perspective and bias. He was a humanist who admired the ancient world and its achievements, and he was critical of the medieval church and its authority. He also had limited access to historical sources and evidence from the period he called dark. He ignored or overlooked the many developments and innovations that took place in Europe during the Middle Ages, such as the emergence of new kingdoms and states, the spread of Christianity and Islam, the growth of trade and commerce, the rise of universities and learning, the flourishing of art and architecture, and the creation of diverse and rich cultures too. The term Dark Ages was later adopted by other writers and historians, especially during the Enlightenment and Romanticism movements in the 18th and 19th centuries. These thinkers also idealized the classical world and contrasted it with the medieval one. They used the term Dark Ages to emphasize their own superiority and progress over their predecessors. They also used it to justify their political and social agendas, such as nationalism, colonialism, secularism, or Reform. However, in the 20th and 21st centuries, many historians have challenged and rejected the term Dark Ages as misleading and inaccurate. They have argued that it is based on a false dichotomy between light and darkness, implying that there was no continuity or change between ancient and medieval times. They have also pointed out that it is ethnocentric and Eurocentric, ignoring or marginalizing the history and achievements of other regions and peoples in Asia, Africa, America, or Oceania. They have also shown that it is simplistic and generalizing, failing to account for the diversity and complexity of the medieval world. Instead of using the term Dark Ages, most modern historians prefer to use more specific and neutral terms to describe different periods and aspects of medieval history. For example, they use Late Antiquity to refer to the transition from Roman to Germanic rule in Europe between the 3rd and 8th centuries. They use Early Middle Ages to refer to the development of new political, religious, and cultural identities in Europe between the 5th and 10th centuries. They use High Middle Ages to refer to the expansion and consolidation of European civilization between the 11th and 13th centuries. And they use Late Middle Ages to refer to the crises and transformations that affected Europe between the 14th and 15th centuries. By using these terms, historians aim to provide a more balanced and nuanced view of medieval history, recognizing both its challenges and achievements, its similarities and differences with other periods, its connections and interactions with other regions, its diversity and complexity within itself. Thank you for watching this episode of History Matters. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below.